I tell you, dude.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I was. Yeah. It's not gonna do it now. Test it. Yeah, it is. Turn it down a little bit. Test it. You hear it?
Yeah, the bar turn it up. Yeah. You should move forward. You're kind of close to it. You should just, yeah.
Test it. Test it, better. Test it. All right. Everybody ready?
It's harder if I get fast too, but I think we're good.
Yeah. Everyone brought their pseudo?
Right out the house if you're good.
Just know, like, whenever we're doing, like, the intercalary day, or a new month, or new moon, we will always go out the pseudo. Right, reading out the book of Jubilees. Okay? Oh, before we get started, I want to do this all canon, but it's nothing like that. I forgot, it just came to my mind. I was talking to a brother yesterday, and I said that I would bring it up. I have a concern, right? When we're doing the lessons, are y'all really getting what the Most High is bringing forth? Like, for example, last week's lesson, we talked about when sin approaches, to treat the Most High right. When we use David as an example, can someone tell me what did you really get from that example?
Me personally, out of the whole story, I got that. Bottom line, David knew he could call on the Most High. But in himself, when he seen that woman, he should have called on him then when his lust started coming. He didn't call on the Most High. And then right then, he was at the sin kept going more and more. The thought, and then it went to action, and then it went to the action was done. The action was done.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, lust conceived and became sin.
Right.
Yeah.
So David, just like we called on him before a war or whatever, he should have said, man, you know, just like when we talk about, you get caught out there doing something wrong and you die, what's going to happen? Ain't nobody tell David that. So, you know, I'm thinking on that term that whenever you, since we know what it is, even though we might want to continue thinking it, we're supposed to call on the Most High, you know, ask for help, you know, and fight that urge. That's what I got out of it. You know?
Who else?
He was relying on his own understanding.
Nothing wrong understanding.
Like when he went to war with the woman, he was doing like what he wanted to do. Now with the Most I told him that he knew it, but like he would definitely fall in those instances, like he did. Just remember that you know we can turn back to him and he like out of shame or whatever. Some people don't, but we just you know go back to him.
Okay. Yes.
I would use it for my own personal self, like being a part, you know, in the world, being a part of the world, trying to be separate from the world. The things that they're doing, you know, okay, I'll go to the basketball game, but the after parties, you know, if I'm all the time Christ, I had to take myself away from the sin by going to my room opposed to going and doing the party.
Awesome. Anyone else? Yes.
Yeah, last week, what I got from that was that when we know we do something, things wrong, we start to feel it, like, because we learn right from wrong now in the Bible. So we called upon him, like, knowing war, and he knew he was always good. But when the demonic attack was coming for the lust, and for him to fornicate on somebody else's wife, he knew that it was wrong. I he let it overtake him, let the lust overtake him to do something wrong, instead of calling on the Most High who's always with him at all times, and he knew to do the bad thing, but he could have did something. He could have stopped the sin, the lust from becoming sin.
Mhm.
So to me, like I know that if I was to think something wrong now from learning in the Bible, I already know what comes after. So you get a certain mindset that if you try your hardest to separate from a lot of the people that you used to deal with, because they do the things that jump off into you from spirits and things like that.
Anyone else? Okay. Well, you say something? Okay. All those are correct. Even the brother that I was talking to, what Dan she gave me was correct. But the thing that I was really looking for, I mean, that shows that y'all listening. You know what I'm saying? Everyone. The thing that I was really hoping that y'all would say, someone would say, is really the premise of all those examples and us going through that was to take heed to the spiritual operation of the demons. You know what I'm saying? Like I was telling the brother, I said, think about it. David was asleep, so we had to understand. He's showing us how they really operate. David was asleep. And understand, David didn't live in a one bedroom, 2 bedroom apartment. He lived in a palace. So the demons woke him up, showing that they can wake you up. Okay? Guided him to the right spot at the right time. That's not a coincidence. So when we read these stories, we got to look farther into it. You know what I'm saying? That comes with reading. You know what I'm saying? Like I was telling the brother, the more you read, when you start going through stuff, then you start opening your mind up into the story. You're not just narrow-minded. Because the first time you read it, you're just like a horse. You're just narrow-minded, trying to get an understanding of what it's saying. But once you start to get into it, you step back, you start seeing the whole scene. The spirits woke him up, led him to the right spot on top of his roof. This is a huge palace now. Understand that. This is kingdom. You know what I'm saying? To the right spot at the right time, see bathing. Then persuaded him to commit adultery. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I want to get. I was hoping that y'all would see the fullness of the stories. So therefore, like I was saying, when we have with our brothers and sisters, or somebody so-called offend us, whatever, recognize what's really going on. Remember I said these demons laughing at us. They playing games with us. 2 or 3, 5 in this one, and 10 up in me, and they just playing with us, and we just going like little pawns, doing what they want us to do. And that's how the Most High really want us to see it, because we say all the time, once you understand that we're really not wrestling with flesh and blood, it's easier to do what? Your brother and your sister. Forgive. But if it's personalized, it's harder to forgive. Because it's she did this or he did that. But we step back and see the demons was in both of us. You see what I'm saying? That's why Christ said, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. Get behind me, Satan, talking to Peter, but talking to the demons, showing us this is how it really goes down. So like I was saying, brother, you may go to the grocery store. A chick you messed with 10 years ago, this happened to come down your aisle. And they look at me close. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now here they go. They led it right to you or him. He all went to the gym about 2 years straight. Did little curls when he came to the store. Little cut off shirt. You know what I'm saying? But this is how it's how it works. And that's how we got to see this. This is what the Most High wants us to see. The real war. So I was telling my wife earlier today, when reading this Bible, it's always a physical. A couple days ago. I'm glad y'all pay attention. Okay, yes.
I would say the thing that stuck with me from that lesson that I carried.
Can't hear you, sis.
I said the thing that stuck with me from that lesson that I carried with me throughout the week we have to recognize when that spirit is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, when we feel a change in our mood,
Mm-hmm.
at that moment, right?
Come.
Because that's when that spirit is coming.
They had enter you. So the demons had entered you. So your mood changed or your mindset changed. Yes.
Piggybacking off that, if you don't recognize, you will become physically ill.
Because the demons cause
They
illness. They are
attack.
illnesses. Exactly.
They wait for that crack, and if you don't realize that this change has happened, you had a crack, a moment or whatever, and you didn't treat the Most High, and
Come.
body weak, and then you physically ill, you don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, with that, let's get started. Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom.
Those out there, I am Elder and Brother Ma'ad. This is Brother Baruch from Awakening the Highest Lake Church. Here to present you another Sabbath lesson. And the title is Season Memorial, New Moon, Seasons Memorial / New Moon / Sabbaths lesson. There's an S on the Sabbaths. Okay? Now I said the new moon. Most of the world don't even know what new moon or what I'm even talking about. Well, the Most High commanded us to remember the seasons, right? He didn't start with seasons, okay? It never rained before. Missions come to the earth and water all the herbs, right? Water the whole earth. So something happened on earth to cause seasons to become into existence, right? And take us back to Noah's day. But what he really wants us to understand, like, these are signs. It's right in our face. The season is changing. It will be officially summer according to the Most High. Okay? Not me. We go off what the Most High say. So it's a season change. Going to summer. There's 13 weeks in every season, which equals 52 weeks or 52 Sabbaths. 364-day calendar according to the Most High. Okay, we don't do the 365 and /4 and 0.5 and all that stuff. Okay, but what the Most High really want us to consider is why. What happened on the earth that caused there to become seasons on the earth? But it was the ungodliness of the people. The fallen angels had come down and taught mankind gross sins, all types of sins, murder, and how to do this and how to do that. And the Most High said that every imagination of man was constantly, since his youth, to do evil. So they were lawbreakers, not fearers of the Most High, not servants of the Most High, which caused a great deluge to come. And the earth was overflowed according to the scriptures. Okay? I'm not getting into it heavily today, but a globe cannot be overflowed. Right? Something has to have a surface to be overflowed. Okay? Just put that out there. So let's get started. I read out the book of Jubilees and you read Genesis. Let me read the Bible, the rest of the Bible. For those who may not be aware of this, but here at Awakening the Highest Lake Church, we do believe in our records outside of what you may call the Holy Bible. This is the pseudepigrapher. Within this book, there's many records from our forefathers that was originally in our original scrolls that they did not, well, it used to be included in the so-called Bible, but they excluded them. So the Most High said in the last days that the righteous will rejoice in the books that will be revealed to his people. And they will love his records, and they will do the things that are said in those records, and we are part of those people. So we don't really care how someone else feels about our records, if that's what you want to believe, because someone told you that our records are not canonical, which means not inspired by the Most High. Pay attention to his lesson, and one thing we're going to show you through the scriptures is those same people that are telling you that our records, the Hebrew Israelites, and for those who won't know what a Hebrew Israelite is, a Hebrew is one that comes from Abraham. Okay? So there's many Hebrews in the world that's not Israelites. But we do come from our father Abraham. Well, Abraham had a son named Isaac, and Isaac had a son named Jacob. And Esau, they were twins. Okay? Now Jacob, who the Most High changed his name later to Israel, is our father. Okay? 12 sons. Out of 12, his 12 sons are what the Most High called the 12 families or 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? These are the people who are from Abraham's seed, who the Most High made a promise to Abraham that his seed, his son, the Messiah, will come through this bloodline, through Jacob. And these people called Israelites will be his chosen people. Okay? So, I'm saying that for a reason, because we're going to read today what you're going to notice. That today is the Sabbath. He only gave his Sabbaths to his chosen people, the Israelites. Before the Israelites, it went to Abraham, all the way down to the seed of Shem. From Shem all the way to Adam. Okay? But it followed this particular bloodline from Adam all the way to Jacob and Jacob's children. Outside of that, he never gave his laws nor his Sabbaths. His Sabbath is his law. So, what you're going to see in a minute through this precept, through these scriptures, is how ludicrous it is for someone to assume authority over something that was never theirs. Even Sabbaths, the Gentiles, which are non-Israelites, he never gave his laws to them. So how can they tell you what to do according to your records? I hope that penetrates some of your ears. With that, we'll get started. Okay? And within this book, the book of Jubilees, we're going to see that the Most High gave this book to Moses, the same author of the first 5 books in your Holy Bible. Okay? So, let's get going. Because today is a new moon, which is a new month. Okay? It's a change of seasons. So we're going to go from Jubilees chapter 6, starting at verse 22 to 38. It reads, For I have written in the book of the first law, in that which I have written for thee, that thou shouldst celebrate it in the seasons, one day in the year. And I explained to thee its sacrifices, that the children of Israel should remember and should celebrate it throughout their generations in this month, one day in every year. And on the new moon or new month, there's 4 of them, okay? It don't mean that it's a full moon outside, okay? In a new month. And on the new moon of the 10th month are the days of remembrance. So he's telling us that these seasonal changes, these new months, are days of remembrance. I said, what are we? Yes.
You just said about the first month.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that's good. I'm sorry, right here. I'm on verse 23. Come on. And on the new month, on the new moon of the first month, and on the new moon of the 4th month, which is today, okay? This is the 4th month. On our calendar, it's March, April, May, June. So this will be the 4th month, okay? And on the new moon of the 7th month, and on the new moon of the 10th month are the days of remembrance, and the days of the seasons in the 4 divisions of the year. These are written and ordained as a testimony forever. Forever. And Noah ordained them for himself as feasts for the generations forever. Not till Christ come, forever. So that they have become thereby a memorial unto him. And on the new month of the 1st month, he was bidden to make for himself an ark. So these are operations that the Most High had going on in the earth during these particular times. And on that day, the earth became dry, and he opened the ark and saw the earth. And on the new month, or new moon of the 4th month, the mouths of the depths of the abyss beneath were closed. So after the deluge, the Most High closed them out because it wasn't this rain coming from above. Water shot forth from the belly of the earth. Okay, so He closed the mouths of the abyss of the earth. So therefore, the water actually stopped coming above. And on the new moon of the 4th month, no, I'm wrong. And on the new moon of the 7th month, all the mouths of the abyss of the earth were open, and the waters began to descend into them. So now He's draining the water from the earth as it overflowed. And on the new moon of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains were seen, and Noah was glad. And on this account He ordained them for Himself as feasts for a memorial forever. And thus are they ordained. And they placed them on the heavenly tablets. Each had 13 weeks, from one to another, past their memorial. For the first to the second, and from the second to the third, and from the third to the fourth. And all the days of the commandment will be 52 weeks of days, 52 weeks. And these will make the entire year complete. Thus it is engraven and ordained on the heavenly tablets, and there is no neglecting this commandment for a single year. There is no neglecting this commandment for a single year, or from year to year. And command thou the children of Israel. See, again, it's not talking to the whole world. Command the children of Israel that they observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days, and these will constitute a complete year. And they will not disturb its time from its days and from its feasts, for everything will fall out in them according to their testimony. And they will,
What read 38?
and they will not leave out any day nor disturb any feast. So if you follow what the Most High say, regardless what the world has going on, we will stay connected in harmony with the Most High's days. Okay? But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to His commandment, they will disturb all the seasons, and the years will be dislodged from disorder, and they will disturb the seasons and the years, and be dislodged, and they will neglect their ordinances. So eventually, as we know, we did this. So now when Master tells us, or the slave master, or the powers to be tell us it's 2019, we believe them. They tell us it's June 8th, we believe it. Because we lost our connection to the Most High, so we don't know. Because we neglected His commandments. And all the children of Israel will forget, all of them, and will not find the path of the years, and will forget the new moons. You can't find someone in our communities to tell you what a new moon is. So obviously this is true. I never heard of it until I was awakening, coming to the true knowledge of the Most High Christ and His doctrine. Okay? And seasons, and Sabbaths, and all the children of Israel will forget His Sabbaths. And they will go wrong as to all the order of the years. This is the Most High speaking. He says, for I know, and from henceforth will I declare it unto thee, and it is not of my own devising. So He didn't command this. They did this on their own, to themselves, our people. For the book lies written before me, and on the heavenly tablets the division of days is ordained. So no man can change this to the Most High. But man can deceive man, but you cannot deceive the Most High. Okay? It's written in the heavens. Lest they forget the feast of the covenant, and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles after their error and after their ignorance. No longer do the children of Israel or the so-called African Americans, Native Indians, so-called Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, know when the Passover is, or the Feast of Unleavened Bread, or Feast of Dedication. They know about Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, Mama's Day. See, we're going after the era of the Gentiles, non-Israelites. For there will be those who will assuredly make observation of the moon, speaking to you Israelites, right? Who will follow the Jewish people, the non-Israelites. And the Bible says, who say they are Jews and are not, they have deceived you to follow after the moon, which the Most High foresaw. He said that there will be those who will assuredly make observation of the moon, how it disturbs the seasons and come in from year to year 10 days too soon. So how can you follow the moon and be in harmony with the Most High according to his feast days? For this reason the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abominable day, the day of testimony. So they go off teaching, that we must follow the moon because the Jewish people told us to. Then show you in the Bible where it says, that they follow the moon, or it's the moon, according to the seasons of the feast. That's not so. The Most High said that that's an error. And an unclean day, a feast day. Christmas, we throw down on Christmas and Easter and stuff. And they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy. For they will go wrong as to the months and Sabbaths. Now, our people are saying the Sabbath on Sunday, proving the Most High word to be true. And feasts and jubilees. If we have enough time today, we will go to jubilees. I doubt we have enough time, but I would like to get to jubilees. For this reason I command and testify to thee that thou may have testified to them, our forefathers, Israelites. For after thy death, thy children. No, I'm sorry, talking to Noah right now. After thy death, thy children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. So he put only there because he knew in the future, some people will come on earth and it's talking about the 365, there's leap years, all kind of stuff going on in error. And for this reason they will go wrong as to the new moons and seasons and Sabbaths and festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh. It's a commandment for us not to eat blood. So we eat our clean meats, which are in Leviticus chapter 11, the unclean and clean meats that we are to eat and not to eat. We have to eat them well done, no blood in it. Gentiles tell us that it tastes better when it's medium well or medium rare, blood. Get us to break the Most High's commandment. And he prophesied that his children would do these things. So with that, I'm going to also read Jubilees chapter 2, verse 1 and 2. And it reads, for those who, I'll get to that later. It says, and the angel of presence spake to Moses according to the word of Ahiah, saying, write the complete history of creation. That's what we're reading out of the book of Jubilees right now. How in 6 days the Most High finished all his works and all that he created and kept Sabbath. The Most High himself keeps Sabbath. His Sabbath. I'm about to touch on that. On the 7th day. What day is the 7th day? Saturday. Sunday is the first day of the week. Okay? Something happened. As he said, this world power, the last world power on earth, will think to change times and laws. So, I asked you to Google who changed the Sabbath. You're going to see that the Romans changed the Sabbath. They said that they had power, that it's the power of the church, not God. So they have more power than the Most High Christ. But the Most High never gave them Sabbath in the first place. So how can they change something again that's not theirs? Okay? It says, how in 6 days, and we know according to scriptures, a day as to the Lord as 1,000 years. So it's not 6 literal days. It's a period of 6,000 years. He says, for how in 6 days the higher finished all his works and all that he created, and kept Sabbath on the 7th day, and hallowed it. Hallowed it, right? That means to consecrate it, okay? To cleanse it, to set it apart for a sacred service or sacred worship. Okay? So this is the day you're supposed to go to church. Saturday. Okay? It says, I'm sorry, right there. It says, and appointed it as a sign for all his works. So the Sabbath is for a sign for all of his works. So how can man change the final day the day after creation, the day that the Most High sanctified and rested from? See, the Sabbath is not just a day of worship. It's the day the Most High sanctified because it has to do with his creation. So unless the Most High, destroy the earth and recreate some stuff and give another Sabbath, there's no way man can change the order of creation. In 6 days, he created all things. And on the 7th day, he rested and hallowed it to himself. So how can you change that? He didn't make Sabbath the 3rd day, or the 1st day, the 2nd day, the 3rd, 4th day, 5th day, or the 6th day. It's the 7th day. And through these precepts, all you're going to hear is the 7th day. Okay? Now, with that, let's get to Genesis.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 1 through 3.
Read 2.
1 through 3. Chapter 2, Genesis chapter 2, 1 through 3.
You talking about the last precept?
I did Jubilees chapter 2, verse 1 through 2. Huh? Huh?
We only read one, right? We only read one.
Well, 1.
Okay.
Because on mine it has 2 right there. I don't know how y'all is. Two. Oh, right there.
It's one through.
Oh, I see what you guys saying. Yeah. Well, verse 1. Let's get it.
And it reads, thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made.
Let's get to verse 1 again. It says, thus the heavens and the earth was finished, and all the hosts of them. So everything that inhabits the heavens and the earth was finished. See, the Sabbath has to do with creation. You can't change creation, the order of creation. See, so your passages say that like T.D. Jakes, we heard him say, he worshiped on Sunday, on Saturday, on Monday, on Tuesday. Good for you. But the Most High consecrated, set apart a day for sacred service, which is the 7th day. You can't change that. You can worship Most High whenever every day. We worship Him too every day. But we here follow His commandments right now on the 7th day. When I go home, I'm driving my truck, whatever, I'm worshiping the Most High. But I also follow His commandment on coming together for a holy convocation, which is a gathering of His people, assembly of His people, where it's reading out of His law on the 7th day. Okay? Because He commanded this day. It's His day. Nobody else's. Read.
And on the 7th day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the 7th day.
Now He said He blessed the 7th day, right? When you bless something, it has to do with adoration. right? So, look at it. It says adoring, feeling or showing great affection or devotion. So the Sabbath is very important to Most High. He feels some kind of way about his day. As he said, it's the most important day of the week. So this is the day that he adored. Okay? And I fear for the man who thinks he's greater than the Most High. Okay? Read.
And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made.
See, this is why he created the Sabbath. It has to do with him, not people. Okay? He did this, okay? And he keeps Sabbath. And all the angels in heaven keep Sabbath, except for those in the constellation. Okay? Next precept.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 8 through 11.
Let me get there. Let me see something. I'm going to read something to y'all just real quick. It's out of I'm Redeemed article. I'm not going to read this. What I'm going to do, I'm reading the subtitles instead of reading all this stuff. It says, all Sunday churches admit Saturday is the Bible Sabbath. All Sunday churches admit Saturday is the Bible Sabbath, or God's Sabbath. Okay? So I'm going to read some of these subtitles. American Congregationalists. It says, no authority in the New Testament for substitution of the first day for the Sabbath. Because a lot of churches, not all of them, they try to use the scripture where Paul and the apostles are gathered together to conduct church business, and they also had a meeting. But that don't got nothing to do with Sabbath. Sometimes when I'm available, we meet Mondays and on Wednesdays or whenever we're available. But we meet, the Most High will, every Sabbath. Okay? It goes farther. Anglican or Episcopal, the Catholics changed it. And you can Google this yourself and see that the Roman Catholic changed the Sabbath. They have admitted of doing this. Baptists, Sunday Sabbath not in the scriptures. See, these people know this right here. They know that the Roman Catholic changed it, but they're still following the Roman Catholics over God. It says, Church of England, no warrant from scriptures for the change of the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. No proof. Episcopal, right?
I never pronounced that word, but episcopal, I would think.
Episcopal, Scapel,
Something like that.
Apostolic.
Paul, P-A-L at the end. Read what? That word. Bible commandments say the seventh day. See, these people are admitting to it. Lutherans, check the Lutherans out. They err in teaching Sunday Sabbath. And there's a whole paragraphs going into deeper detail. Episcopal. Thank you for the correction. Methodists. Jesus did not abolish the moral law. Check it out. Right? No command to keep holy the first day. Wow. So why are they doing it? Huh? Moody Bible Institute, tradition, right? Man. They say Sabbath was before Sinai or before Moses. We just read that. 7th day after creation, they did Sabbath before there was anybody named Moses on the earth. Long time before he came. The Presbyterians, Sunday keeps the Gentiles happy. See? They're happy because they have the children of Israel in error. Therefore, they become the head and the Israelites become the tail, according to the curses of Deuteronomy 28, if the children of Israel forsook his commandments. Roman Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic, no such law in the Bible, but they changed it. Go figure. That's enough. Let's get back to these scriptures. So I ask you Christians out there, to really consider why you calling this Sunday Sabbath when the Bible says it's the seventh day. And I pray that y'all have ears to hear what was brought in the lesson today. And see how the Most High feel about his day and those who break his Sabbath. Okay? Read.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Read to who?
Remember the Sabbath day.
Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Keep it holy means clean. Ceremonially and morally clean. We'll get to that in a minute too.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Most High God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Hallowed and holy means the same thing. Where we at?
The next precept, Exodus chapter 31, verse 13 through 18.
He says, remember. So only commandment the Most High said remember. He knows we're going to go off on these Sabbaths. Right?
And it reads, Speak thou also unto the children of Israel.
Again, he's speaking. He has Moses speaking to the children of Israel. Okay? That's it. Okay? Read.
Saying, Verily my Sabbaths ye shall keep.
Truly my Sabbaths, children of Israel must keep.
For it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations.
See, the Sabbath is a sign between the Most High and the children of Israel. It's not a sign between the Most High and the Roman Catholics, or Esau, or the Caucasians, or the Jewish people. All those names I just said besides the Israelites are the same people. Okay? Roman Catholics, like the Pope. Now, it's some black Roman Catholics, so let me get past that. The people that's over the religion of Roman Catholic Church, they're telling you who they are. They're Romans. They just changed their name to what they call themselves. White people, Caucasian, or Jewish people now. But it's the same people. These people, Most High is not talking to them. Understand that. He said this is a sign between the Most High and his children, his chosen people. Okay? Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6 says that the children of Israel are his chosen people to him, holy, whom he has chosen for himself as a peculiar people, a special possession for himself. Okay? Of all the people on the earth. He didn't give his laws. Let me just get to the famous scripture. Psalms 147, verse 19 and 20. He showed his word unto Jacob, children of Israel. That's our father. His statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He has not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgment, they have not known them. Praise Yahweh. See, the judgments, the laws and commandments, these Romans have not ever known them. So how are they going to change something again that's not theirs? Okay? Most High said, under the witnesses of two or more witnesses, under the testimony of three witnesses, every matter is established. So let me get my other witness. Okay? Amos chapter 3, verse 1 says, Hear this, that the Most High has spoken against you, O children of Israel. These are called the Hebrew scrolls, not the scrolls of the whole world. Okay? Against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Get that? This is a sign between the Most High and these people are my forefathers. Okay? Let's go.
Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, verily my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am Ahiah, that do sanctify you. Ye shall keep the Sabbath therefore, for it is holy unto you. Every one that defileth it shall surely be put to death.
That's how serious it is to the Most High. You defile his Sabbath day, you will surely be put to death. And back in Moses' day, you were stoned to death. Okay? They found the man gathering wood, sticks, and he brought me from Moses. Most High went and treated and prayed to the Most High, asked him what to do. Said stone him. The whole congregation. Okay? Now today we have grace. That means the penalty of death is done away with. Right? Don't mean we can break these laws. So Christ is going to do more than stone you for breaking the Sabbath. Remember, Christ is Lord of the Sabbath. Okay? So you have a greater punishment coming from Christ breaking the Sabbath than you had under Moses. And it's written that one died under the testimony of 2 or 3 without mercy. But how much sour punishment suppose ye who would do it against Christ? Okay? The Sabbath is very important, my people. Okay? Read.
For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
So one may ask, well, I have to work. The Most High understands that, right? He put us in captivity. He put us in a position that we will have to work to feed our bellies. So if we're mandated to work, if you're mandated to work, you must go to work. It's written, man don't work, man don't eat. And I say all the time, if you have this day off or can get this day off, keep it off and worship the Most High. Give him his time that he commands. Do not pick up work trying to get an extra dollar on his Sabbath day. That shows no faith, because it's the Most High that sustains his creatures, that preserve his creatures, not people. Okay? So, again, if you're mandated to work on the Sabbath, you must work. Do not be righteous over much. Put yourself in a bad situation where you will lose your employment. The Most High says, be wise as a serpent. So we must use discernment righteously. We must go to work to feed our families, because our forefathers sinned and put us in this situation, and we are perpetually doing the same thing that our forefathers have done, even worse. So we're still in this situation. Under oppression. Okay? Toiling for food and water and clothing. Or laboring. Agree?
Verse 15. 6 days may work be done, but in the 7th is the Sabbath of rest.
Now, it's not this. This don't mean for those who have a church to go to. You know, this is rest from work. Okay, it's not the day that you have a church to go to. Now, for those who are not in the area where there's a church who are teaching the true doctrine of Christ, this don't apply to you. May the Most High pour out grace to you all. But for those that can, this don't mean you can break his commandment and forsake the assembly and sit home and say, well, he told me to rest. He told you to bring your butt to class and rest from your labor. Remember, it's a holy convocation, which we will get to soon. Okay?
But the 7th is the Sabbath of rest.
But the 7th day never says the first day. And I'm telling you, I don't know how many, I'm going to have to Google this one time. It's me cooking. It's innumerable. It's an innumerable amount of times that he tells us, reminds us that the 7th day is his day. Okay? He don't confuse it with no other day. Read.
Holy to the Most High. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations.
Throughout their generations. This mean, while we over in Jerusalem. Because he told Moses, I'm going to read at the end of this lesson what he told Moses. Knowing people was going to go in error, he said, forget the Sabbaths. So he's talking about to all their generations, to the consummation of sin, to the consummation of time, until judgment day. Knowing he would scatter his people. So you just can't keep the Sabbath in Jerusalem. And Sabbaths are holy days. We're going to get to that too. So whoever tell you that we have to do the holy days because we're not in Jerusalem is a liar. He says in all your dwellings, and throughout all your generations, we are to remember, which is why we're remembering the new month right now today. Read.
For a perpetual covenant.
For a perpetual contract. Perpetual covenant. What does perpetual mean? Forever, continuously. What does it say in Hebrew?
Frequentative, always.
Always. So always. Always, as the Bible says. Okay? As a perpetual covenant. Perpetual don't stop. Like, right? It don't stop. Okay? Let's precept.
A couple more.
Oh, do these verses.
Verse 17. It is a sign between me and the children
So
of
a
Israel.
sign is also a mark. There will be something different between how the children of Israel operate on this day than the whole world. It's a sign. Read.
It is a sign between the children of Israel forever. Between me and the children of Israel forever.
Forever. Forever. So did the Most High, again, not know that he was going to scatter his people, my people? It's a mark between him and his people, not the Gentiles. Forever. So if you're going to church on Sundays, you're following in error the Gentiles. And people... It's sad because most of my people think they're Gentiles. Okay? If you knew about Gentiles, you would know for certainty you're not a Gentile. Because the Bible says, check this out. Romans chapter 11. It reads, I'm going to start in verse 11. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? Talking about the Israelites. God forbid. You know that old commercial, I fall and can't get up. That's what Paul said. Have they fallen and they can't get up? God forbid, which means no. But rather through their fall, salvation is come into the Gentiles to provoke them to jealousy. What's the salvation that Paul is talking about? Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world, so my people, if you're a Gentile, where are your riches? The riches of the world. I'm serious. I was coming home yesterday. I was stuck in heavy traffic. I seen a lot of people look nothing like me going up north, about to celebrate this wonderful weather with boats and ski-doos and all kind of stuff. My people was at work and out in the street trying to get make $1 out of 15 cents. Fearing for their life and day and night. Only impressed and spoiled. Suffering. Not enjoying, like the people whose kingdom we are serving in are right now. So, where are your riches? Okay? And don't say they're spiritual because you're sick spiritually. Okay? So it says, now if the fall of them be the riches of the world, and the diminishing of them the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fullness? You're not a Gentile. Alright, black people, Mexicans, Indians, you're not a Gentile. We're the tail, not the head. Okay? Where we at?
Verse 17.
Let's get it.
For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone, written with the finger of God.
Who? Written with who?
The finger of God.
For those who say, but it's cool. If you don't believe the Most High, all the scriptures are inspired by God, like you said, written by the finger of God, like I said, I'm afraid of you. I'm afraid for you. You don't have to believe. You can do whatever you want to do. Most High give you grace and you wake up, you can do whatever you want to do. But just know, whether you believe it or not, the hour is coming. The day of judgment is coming for all flesh. Okay? You ain't gonna believe that either. Okay? But all things shall come to pass. Okay? And the whole earth shall mourn. Right? It says the angels gonna tremble this day. The day of darkness, no light. Okay? So that's that's a dreaded day. That's a dreadful day. So believe it or not, hey, he told me to preach to the wind, whether they hear or forbear. And that's what we're doing today. Okay? But this right here, this Sabbath, right now, is his day. Okay? As a perpetual covenant between him and the children of Israel. So if you Asian, you Caucasian, you African, he ain't talking to you. Unless you want to come serve the God of the Hebrews and save your soul from his wrath. Okay? Let's precept.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 3 and verse 30. And it reads, Ye shall fear every man his mother
Commandment.
and his father,
Commandment.
and keep my Sabbaths.
And do what?
And keep my Sabbaths.
With an S, plural. Plural. Got it right last time. And keep his Sabbaths. I am Ahia, your God. Okay? Keep his Sabbaths. Okay? Let's see what he's talking about.
Verse 30. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Most High.
He keeps saying, keep his Sabbath. See how important it is? We debated about 12 times, but if not more. He said, we are to keep his Sabbath and reverence his sanctuary. What's his sanctuary? Who? Anyone know what sanctuary is? Place of who? The place of the convocation, exactly. So also, right, this is his sanctuary right here. Okay? It's talking also not just about a building, but the order of his sanctuary. Remember, we're coming to hear the words of him, to learn and be corrected, chastised, consoled, the whole nine from him through his order. Okay? So he says, keep his Sabbaths and reverence, respect his sanctuary. Let's get some precepts this here. It's 2 precepts that are on the side in the column that fit really, really good. Let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 1 through 6. Let this serve as a reminder, church. Okay?
And it reads, Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God.
Keep thou foot when you go into the house of the Most High. Watch your step. Come into his place with respect. And that's why I said, sisters, truthfully, if you listen to what the Most High said, come to his house with respect. So let's just get on the dress code. how should you dress coming before the Most High? Sisters? Modest. Okay? Should we dress as the world do, coming before the Most High? Okay? Should we act like the world act when we come into his house? Okay? We should act like the world anyway, nor dress like the world anyway. Okay? But he's telling us to respect his presence. Okay? Brothers, how should we dress when we come in the sanctuary?
Like the respect.
Right? So my brothers, for those who have garments, I pray that one day y'all soon get some garments with fringes on it. Okay? Bordered blue. Okay? Sisters, I encourage y'all to look harder for dresses. Okay? Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Most High. But check out what he says next. Read.
And be more ready to hear.
And be more ready to hear. Be more ready to hear. Why is he saying this?
Something important is going to be said
Something important is going to be said by who?
by him,
By him. Through who?
the speaker.
His servants. That's what we have to understand. And that's why I've been saying for a long time. Do y'all really believe I'm his servant? That's what he's nailing it to the floor. Because if you don't believe I'm his servant, what are you prepared to hear? My words? See, there's an order to the sanctuary. He has servants. And for my Christian people and my Israelite brothers and sisters, everybody who proclaims to be a servant of the Most High is not. So just because they're a pastor don't mean that they're the Most High's anointed. Satan got a lot of anointing oil going around here too. Okay? Satan has anointed way more than the Most High. He always has. Okay? If they're not teaching these laws and commandments and the testimony of Christ and doing them, as Moses said, a man that would do them, living them, they're not a servant. Okay? So, read.
And be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools.
So that's what you see going on with a lot of younger brethren and a lot of sisters. They give the sacrifice of fools. Okay? It said be more ready to hear than to run your mouth to get your opinion across. It ain't about your opinion. It's about what the Most High is saying. And adhering to what he said. Get your opinion in line with his words. But you see a lot of brothers, they read two chapters and now they got something to say. You get sisters who come out of the world still struggling with the programming. You got older brothers programmed in the world thinking that they're a man and can't nobody tell them nothing. The Bible is telling you, hey, you do what my servants say, you can kick rocks. And there'll be some fiery rocks on your head in judgment day. But that's what it's about, respecting what he has constructed. Respecting and appreciating what he's doing for his people. My words ain't changing nobody. His words are. This brother's words ain't changing nobody. The Most High's words is what is sharper than a two-edged sword and go down to the bone marrow. His words are like fire. So that's, can you stand the heat? It's the question. Can you stand the heat of the words? So if someone is getting chastised, as y'all call it, or corrected, respect it. The Most High said he chastised those that he loves. Would you rather get chastised as a son or treated as a bastard? One who's not getting chastised. Who's allowed to do whatever they want to do until judgment day. I prefer the first. Chastise me. Okay? Let's get it.
Be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil.
See, they consider not that they do evil. Just like the same examples I was speaking about. Young brothers, they want to go against leadership. Sisters want to go against leadership. Consider not that you're doing evil. The Most High said, be obedient as unto the Lord. That's not up to interpretation. I said, if you believe that the servant is speaking, and you believe or you don't. And this has been the problem for Israel throughout all generations. He given us many examples of how he felt about those he put before his people. Moses told Mosiah, these people about to stone me. Moses praying for them, fasting, everything. These people about to stone me, man. But the other prophets got stoned and cut asunder because they didn't respect his prophets. See? We'll read that in the end too. This backing up what I'm saying. This is the orders, because if you come into a sanctuary, I mean seriously, if you don't believe that the servant is in your midst, what you here for? Then you can just go to a building and you all good? That's what churches are doing. I told the sister a little while ago, and it was something about she thought that the scripture said that you can't judge nobody. So when she saw her pastor, in the lottery line, playing numbers, smoking cigarettes, fornicating with everybody, he just said, man, we can't judge him. My sister Paul says we are the judge, inspired by the Most High. Said we are to judge those inside. We're not supposed to judge those on the outside. You see what I'm saying? The Most High will judge them. And again, judgment does not mean condemning them to death, but judging them, giving them, convicting them to a death sentence. Because again, when Paul says, let no man judge you, he's talking about convicting you to death sentence. But the Bible says, again, suffer not thy brother to sin if you love him. So what we get it twisted is we think when somebody is not suffering us to sin because they love us, as we judging them. Because it says that you consider not that you do evil. See, that's what class is for, correction. To get us back, and get us back and keep us on the right track to salvation. And that salvation is escaping his wrath into the kingdom that he promised his children, the children of Israel. Immortality. If you have an ear to hear, the Spirit, I beseech you to hear.
Let's read verse 2. Be not rash with thy mouth.
Be not what?
Not rash.
Be not rash with your mouth. We talked about last week about the spiritual attacks. See, someone wants to feel offended, that mouth, that tongue is that little member. It's the most deadliest member on the body. Okay, it's a little member, but it starts the forest fire. See, that mouth. You must learn to bridle it. You must learn to tame it. Okay, be not rash with your mouth. Read.
And let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God, for God is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few.
So when you're dealing with the Most High, he said you think about what you talk to him about. And that's his goal, to show you that people don't respect him. Don't even know him. Some of the things people pray for, most people praying to Jesus. I talked to my brother Thursday. He says my prayer, brother, do you know how to pray? He said, yeah. I said, how do you pray, brother? I pray to Jesus. I said, really? I said, brother, we know Christ himself said that, you have to go through him to get to the Father. So, how you praying to the one that's an intercessor, a mediator. I said, brother, Christ prayed to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So we must pray to the Most High in his son's name. I said, bro, you pray to the Most High. He said, all you got to say. And you say, I ask why I say these things in the name of Christ. You know, when we say Yahshua, that's his Hebrew name. But we don't pray to Yahshua. We pray to Ahaya. Okay? Through Christ. Right? But it's telling you, when you talk to the Most High, don't just be saying something like he's a man. Because every idle word should come into judgment. I'm saying that for a reason. So he's saying, telling you to calculate your thoughts before you come playing with him. Lord, if you do this, I'm going to do that. I promise this will be the last time. You're right back at it before your mouth even closed. Listen to what he says. Let's get it.
Verse 3.
So let your words be few, it means calculated. In consideration that he's nothing to play with. Okay? So mean what you say to him. Okay?
For a dream cometh through the multitude of business.
This is the part that has nothing to do with what we're saying this next part, dude. Let's get it.
And the fool's voice is known by multitude of words.
It's crazy. My mom used to always tell me something all the time in the scripture back when she said, what'd you say, Mom? About fools and people that talk a lot? What do you say? An empty wagon make a lot of noise. See? Empty wagon make a lot of noise. Another way of saying that. Someone's empty on the inside. They're always talking. No real, no substance within the Most High. All their words is vanity. All their imaginations is vanity. Vain. Of no profit. So they just talking. Like his brothers who just want to talk. And debate. Without a purpose. The purpose of the gospel is to bring Israel back to the Most High. First, and then the Gentiles. So why are we debating? Why are we debating? It's just like a boxing match. You get ding, you get points. You get points for debating. Is that bringing people back to the Most High? Social media is it's the debate device. None of that's bringing nobody to Israel. Ain't none of that bringing Israel to the Most High. None of it. A bunch of confusion and pride. But let's keep going.
Verse 4. When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it.
See, that's what he's telling you. When you vow a vow, you promise the Most High something, defer not to pay it. You better pay it. Don't hesitate to pay it. Why?
For he hath no pleasure in fools.
He has no pleasure in fools.
Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better is it that thou shouldest not vow, than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands?
And let's get back to his sanctuary and his servants. Suffer not your mouth to cause your flesh to sin by disrespecting his servants or each other. Suffer not your mouth to cause your flesh to sin. And see how he's talking about judgment? Say not before the angel. Remember Christ said he's going to send his angels, give him a charge. See, the fools, those who don't fear or serve the Most High, are fools. Are fools. They had a terror that the angel's going to gather up and burn in the fire. So he's telling you, let us say before the angel, it was a mistake. I didn't mean it. Because like their father, their creator, they don't play either. They fear the Most High. So if he say, destroyed, guess what happened to you? You're destroyed. See, it's talking about judgment. So all of us, let's consider our words in dealing with each other. To suffer not our mouths to cause our flesh to sin. Okay? Next precept.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15, verse 22.
Now, fools, right? So it's going to talk about these sacrifices. Check this out. Now, we're not going to read the whole story, but so I'm going to give you a little backdrop. For those of us in here, we know what it's talking about. The Most High told King Saul to destroy all the Amalekites, all their cattle, everything. And this is an example of what the Most High calls self-righteousness. Self-righteousness. Right? Your own righteousness. So Saul and the people sought their own righteousness, and they disobeyed the Most High and kept all the goodly things. They said that, well, this is a nice ox, this is nice, this is nice, this, nice that, this is the king and his family. No, they're the best for the people. I'm going to save them. And so the people said, we'll save this to sacrifice to the Most High. The Most High didn't ask for a sacrifice. He said to destroy, waste them utterly. Leave nothing breathing. Right? So that's the backdrop to the story. But let's get verse 22.
And Samuel said, hath the Most High as great a delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Most High?
See? Do the Most High accept excuses and so-called sacrifices? See, you can't pay your way into the kingdom. Because you're doing good deeds, but disobeying the Most High's laws. Newsflash. He takes no delight in that. None. Why?
Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice.
To obey is better than your good deed. That you say is a good deed.
And to hearken than the fat of rams.
So those were sacrifice of fools. They assumed to themselves what they would give to the Most High. Kind of like Cain did. He assumed what he would give to the Most High, going against what the Most High commanded. You cannot create your own righteousness. You cannot serve the Most High as you desire, only as He commands. A great example for those who think, that their God will, not destroy them because, they so-called love Him without keeping His commandments. Because the Bible says the love of God is keeping His commandments, showing the Most High your appreciation by your obedience, because that's what He commands. That's the best thing a man or woman can do for themselves and for the Most High, is be obedient to the Most High, which is the whole duty of man, to fear Him and keep His commandments. Next precept.
Proverbs chapter 15, verse 8.
So when we're out here sinning like, ain't no tomorrow, but we're going to church on Sunday, straight from the club, sneaking in the house, from your fornication, whatever your else sins that you are entangled with, we're making an excuse to the Most High. Listen to what He says.
And it reads, the sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Most High.
It's an abomination to the Most High. He hates it. Hates it. False repentance, He hates it. Excuses, He hates it. People don't know your prayers are sacrifices and offerings. He hates falsehood. He says, better you not to vow than to vow and not pay it. Okay? So, but what?
But the prayer of the upright is His delight.
The prayer of the upright are those who keep His laws, commandments. Okay? And testimony of Christ.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5, verse 12 through 15.
Just like the 20th time, we're gonna, you know, that he gonna remind us about his Sabbath. Read.
And it reads, Keep the Sabbath day to sanctify it, as the high thy God hath commanded thee. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of Ahai thy God.
See, the 7th day, again, is the Most High's day. His Sabbath. His day of rest. Read.
In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thine ox, nor thine ass, nor any of thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates, that thy manservant and thy maidservant may rest as well as thou. And remember,
See, we were free people. We had servants. We had men servants and female servants, right? So we had no excuse not to keep his Sabbath. Okay, no one at this time could force us to work on the Sabbath. That's the difference. Like for example, I own my own business, right? Yesterday, trust and believe, I need some money. Okay, I'm on the highway. I got a load. My intention was to deliver it yesterday. I left at 3:45 in the morning so I can beat the Sabbath. Right? I'm talking to the brother on the phone. I'm really about an hour away from the place, but I'm in heavy traffic. And I got like an hour and 23 minutes on my clock. For those who know truck drivers, we have what's called electronic logs, devices. So it's electronic. You can't, it's there. Now, when I got here, I could have, like, put it in like what's called personal conveyance because I'm really at home now. So, but I had a dilemma. I said, I can deliver this load and I'll be home probably about 11 o'clock. I would be working on the Sabbath. Okay? Now, they said I need some money. A broker texted me and offered me a nice load, with load I just did this morning that pays nicely, right? For Monday morning. The only way I can do this load is if I delivered the load last night, right? Because that would free me up for Monday. I can go there 5 morning, get loaded, boom, get on the road, okay? I had to make a decision, okay? Thinking, the Most High tries to raise. All our imaginations, right? I'm like, how can I justify to the Most High working on the Sabbath? When I know this load was originally due on Monday. Now, if it was mandated to go on Friday, I would have to go. But originally, the load was supposed to be delivered on Monday, but I said I can deliver it on Friday. So I'd say, you know what? I ain't playing with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? I called it, broke, look, man, I'm delivering it on Monday. As a matter of fact, at 9 o'clock, because at 9 o'clock really puts me in a bad situation for Monday because it's hard for me to do what I do, start late in the day. So if I get unloaded, to get loaded at 9, I might not leave at 12:30, and I don't know what I'm going to do now because I really might take the whole day off because I'm here. But if I trust in the Most High, my family will be all right. So what did I do? I came home, still sitting on the load. Okay, with a clear conscience, clean. Right now, I might be a hypocrite right now trying to tell somebody to keep the Sabbath, and I didn't do it. See what I'm saying? But it's a wonderful feeling having a clear conscience before the Most High and having freedom of speech. See, there's nothing that was mandated me to work on the Sabbath. I just said earlier, if you're off this day, it's not a day to pick up. See? So that's the same as me picking up. I'll be a liar to you if that's how I operate. So just wanted to share that. Wasn't going there, but it's there. So,
Verse 15.
obedience is better than the sacrifice. My sacrifice will be my excuses. Well, this. If I trust the Most High, hey, like he says, he will fill our storehouses. You know what I'm saying? So, I ain't worried about it. Let's go.
And remember that thou wast a servant in the land of Egypt, and that Ahai thy God brought thee out thence through a mighty hand.
So what's the Most High saying? Remember that you was a servant in Egypt. Connecting this with the Sabbath. What's he really saying? Anyone know what the Most High is saying right there? He said, remember that he said you have to do no work. None of your servants, get them a day off. Gentiles, get them a day off. The animals, leave them alone, let them do what they do. Because remember, you was a slave in Egypt. So what is he telling them to remember?
How you in that position?
Huh?
How you end up in that position?
Remember, we was in hard bondage. So the Sabbath is, he know we need a day of rest. We need it. If all those out there out there trying to chase paper and they winning and living their best life, you're not. Working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, you're losing. The Most High know you need rest. So this day is for us to work, take a break from our labor to be refreshed and come get spiritually fed by Him. See? And by His brothers and sisters who threw down today, with physical food. But, let's get it. So he said to remember how it was when you was in hard bondage. So show mercy. That's what he's saying, show mercy. Okay? Even to the beast. Okay? Even to the Gentiles, my brethren. Let's go. Because this stranger is not talking about your brother that was from afar off. Gentiles. Ready?
Therefore, Ahai thy God commanded thee to keep the Sabbath day.
He commanded us to keep the Sabbath day. Okay? Next precept.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 1 through 4.
Now we're going to see also his holy days. His holy days are Sabbaths. Okay? Holy convocations. Okay? Christmas is not a holy convocation. Okay? Nor a holy day. Okay?
And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel,
Again, speaking to our people.
and say unto them, concerning the feast of the Most High,
The feast of who?
of Ahai,
The feast of the government.
feast of the Most High,
The feast of the world. The feast of Ahaya. Read.
which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations.
Holy, we should proclaim to be holy convocations. Again, what's a holy convocation? Assembly or a gathering of people where there's reading out of His law. Okay?
6 days shall, Salaki,
Even these are my feasts. 3.
oh, no, 3 no. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein.
The 7th is a holy convocation. Again, I'll explain that what it is. Okay? So, for those who for example, cooking. The 6th day is called a day of preparation. So all your things are supposed to be prepared on the 6th day. And for us black folk, that what's supposed to happen on Saturday, we was raised with it on Sunday. Our grandmama cooked a Sunday meal. That really was a Sabbath meal. So that's supposed to be cooked on Friday. Because at sundown on Friday starts the Sabbath and goes to Saturday sundown. So that meal is supposed to be prepared on Friday before the sun goes down. Okay?
In holy convocation ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Most High in all your dwellings. These are
And where?
in all your dwellings.
It's not talking about all the little cities within Jerusalem. All your dwellings. We are to honor it. Do it. Right?
These are the feasts of the Most High, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons.
So it said the feasts are Sabbaths, holy convocations. Okay, no work is to be done. Okay, and we're gonna get into how to operate a little bit on the Sabbath. Sure. Where we at?
Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 15 through 22.
We're here right now. Let's get it. So how we operate on the Sabbath? For those Christian folk who think, the Sabbath is just a day that you worship the Lord. Let's see what the Bible say about that. There's a way to operate on the Sabbath. Now we just read about no work should be done on the Sabbath. Okay? Let's get some more information about how to operate on the Sabbath. Okay? Let's get it. Verse 15, chapter 13.
And it reads, In those days saw I in Judah
This is the prophet Nehemiah.
some treading wine presses on the Sabbath,
Working on the Sabbath. Trading wine presses. Read.
and bringing in sheaves,
And bringing in sheaves, offerings.
and lading asses, as also wine, grapes, and figs, and all manner of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day.
So they are here working, getting their food stuff together to sell on the Sabbath. Okay? For those who don't know, because the pastor never read it to you, you never heard of it before in your life. There's no buying and selling on the Sabbath. And Satan has created a system where that is the main day that we get paid and spend is on the Sabbath. Yes, sister.
You have a question, are you, is asking what time does it start? I was gonna type it, but you said everything you want to know.
Again, the Sabbath start Friday sunset to Saturday sunset. Okay? We're going to read it in a minute, but let's go.
And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals. There dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which brought fish and all manner of ware, and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah and in Jerusalem. Then I contended with the nobles of Judah, and said unto them, What evil thing is this ye do?
So the prophet said he contended, he had to fight and argue against the so-called leaders of the community. Because they was the one that was perpetuating it. The leaders of the community, the nobles, are those who was in charge were the leaders, influencing our people to do wrong on the Sabbath. This is what the prophet tells these people.
Did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us?
Did not our fathers do what you're doing right now? Which is why we are in a situation we're in right now. See? Fulfilling the curses of Deuteronomy 28. So when we look at ourselves, what are people doing right now? Everything against God's law. This is why we're in our situation, people. We're not keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. So this situation, our circumstance, is what was prophesied to be a sign for who his children are in the earth today. Those that suffer in the oppression, atrocities, and etc., etc. Those who seem to get no justice. Okay? Read.
And did not our God bring all this evil upon us, and upon the city?
And did not the Most High bring this to us? He promised that he would do this. Because we kept his laws, he protected us. So how did he bring this upon us? He allowed us to exist with no protection. Why? Because we didn't appreciate it. So when he held our enemies back, when he destroyed our enemies, we didn't show him appreciation. So he washed his hands and said, get him. See? So this is why there's so much sorrow in our communities. This is why our people are constantly getting shot by these police and by their own people. This is why you can watch a video clip where a white police officer telling a white woman that what she worried about, she's not black. We shoot black people. We kill black people. See, someone gave them that order. See, we are people unprotected by our God because we forsook him he turned his face against us. But we're going to read all this in a minute. Let's go.
Yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. And it came to pass.
So wait. If the Sabbath can be any day you choose, what's Nehemiah talking about? He ain't talking about Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Wednesday.
Right.
It's one particular day he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Sabbath can be any day you choose, how can you distinguish when it's right or wrong?
Right.
Right.
So therefore, can't no buying Sabbath go on, because if you want to be a Sabbath on Monday, you know, and I want mine on Wednesday, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about a particular day, Saturday, seventh day. Read.
19. And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that they should not be opened till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants set I at the gates, that there should no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day.
Ain't no more buying and selling going around here. We trying to get peace with the Most High, right? We ain't trying to get the most wrath. We suffering enough, right? Nehemiah is saying, read.
So the merchants and sellers of all kind of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice. Then I testified against them, and said unto them, Why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you.
If you do so again, y'all gonna get it. Read.
From that time forth came they no more on the Sabbath.
From that time they came no more on the Sabbath. See, it's not talking about any random day. It's talking about the Lord's day, the Most High's day. Okay?
And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, that they should come and keep the gates to sanctify the Sabbath day. Remember me, O my God, concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy.
See, that's a good deed. Okay? Next precept.
Isaiah chapter 58, verse 13 and 14.
Dealing with how we're supposed to operate on his Sabbaths.
Isaiah 58, verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day.
See, this is a day we're not supposed to do our own pleasures. Right? We got 6 days to do our own pleasures. Right? You want to buy and sell? You do. You got 6 days to shop. You want to, lie with your wife, lie with your husband? You got 6 days to do that. Right? This is not, you want to go on a trip, on a journey? You get 6 days for that. But his day is not for anything that you personally want to do. It's his. We must wholly give our dedication, our service to him on this day. We turn back to doing our own will and treat his Sabbath as delight.
And call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Most High, honorable. And
see, the holy day, the holy of the Most High, not of the Roman Catholic Church. The holy, his day is delight. We must see it as like the best day of the week, because it is.
That's right.
The holy of the Most High. Reverence this day. Read.
And shall honor him, not doing thine own ways.
Not doing thy own ways. So, on y'all Sabbath, are y'all doing your own ways?
Yeah.
But you get what I'm trying to say. See, the pastor only told them that it's a day you can worship the Most High. But the Bible tells you how to operate on the Sabbath.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? You can't do your own ways. Things that you want to do. Things that satisfy you. But do only the things that are pleasing to the Most High. And how do you find those things out? You come to class, keep out the videos, and read your Bible. Read.
Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Most High.
See, when you start operating properly in the Sabbath, you look forward to his Sabbath. You will rejoice and appreciate his Sabbath. Read.
And I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Most High hath spoken.
He will feed you with the heritage of Jacob. What's the heritage of Jacob? The laws, statutes, and commandments. He will feed you, the Most High. That's the premise of coming to class. But it comes with a promise. You will get what I promised your fathers if you obey, as they did. Next precept.
Jubilees chapter 50, verse 6 through 13.
Now check this out, my people. We're back in the book of Jubilees, the book of Moses. Right?
Chapter
50. One of my favorite chapters in Jubilees. Starting at verse 6. Here's how to operate on the Sabbath. It says, verse 6, and behold the commandment regarding the Sabbaths. Sabbaths. I have written them down for thee, and all the judgment of its laws. See, the Sabbath has laws. Things you must do, things you can't do. Again, it's not just a day of worship. Okay? 6 days thou shalt labor, but on the 7th day, that's just clear to me. On the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Most High, your God. In it ye should do no manner of work, yet may ye or your sons or your men servants and your maid servants, and all your cattle, and the sojourners also who is with you. This read that 1,000 times in the so-called Holy Bible. And the man that doeth any work on it should die. Okay, T.D. Jakes. How does that fit what you're saying? The man that does any work on this day, but you can choose what day that you worship God every day. Your Sabbath is every day, so I guess you just don't work. You just don't labor with your wife. You just don't shop. You don't do nothing. So all your life, 7 days a week, you do nothing of your own pleasure. See how it's ridiculous these lies sound? Whosoever desecrate that day, defile it. Check it out. Whoever lieth with his wife, whoever lieth with his wife, or whoever say he would do something. So you can't make personal plans on the Sabbath. Ain't no getting married on the Sabbath. Ain't no burying your dead loved ones on the Sabbath. That's your pleasure. Because it's cheaper, I guess. Is it cheaper? Is that cheaper?
not there on the weekend.
The weekend? It costs more?
To be buried.
Well, I take that back.
Most people are working.
Most people are off work because Satan gave the time off, so that's the time when most people want to do it on the Sabbath. Okay? Most I said, whoever said he would do something, okay, own it. That he was set on a journey thereon in regards to any buying or selling. Can't go house shopping. You can't go look at that dress you're looking at, in the city next to you. Can't go car shopping. Whosoever draweth water. See, back then, that took a lot of work. You did that on the 6th day, drew your water. Their own which he had not prepared for himself on the 6th day. See, everything is supposed to be prepared on the 6th day, Friday, before the sun sets. And whoever takes up any burdens to carry it out of his house, out of his tent, or out of his house. So ain't no, you cooking a meal and you're taking it over your homegirl house, or your mama's house, or your friend's house on the Sabbath. Ain't no, taking what you got at somebody's house that belongs to them over their house on the Sabbath. All that stuff's supposed to be done before the sunset Friday. Those are carrying burdens. Okay? Read again. And whoever takes up any burden to carry it out of his tent or out of his house should die. Most High's words. This day he don't play with. Like I said, we're under grace now, but we're still under the law. Like I said, I can't stone you right now, but like I said, Christ got something more harsher than stones coming with him. Ye should do no work whatever on the Sabbath day, save, except what ye have prepared for yourselves on the 6th day, so as to eat and drink and rest and keep Sabbath from all work on that day. And bless the Most High your God, who has given you a day of festival. So my people who Sabbath is every other day, y'all festival every day? This is a day of festival, a feast, and a holy day. And honor which Ahijah has given to Israel, that they should eat and drink. That includes wine, okay? And be satisfied on this festival day. This is your Sunday's meal, my people. A day of delight. Remember the day everybody came over to Grandma's house? Well, that's why we come here. Grandma's house right here. You know what I'm saying? And rest thereon from all labor, work, right? Which belongs to the labor of the children of men. So the manner of work that men do, this is what the Most High commands us to rest from. We need it. Okay? So much we need it, all of us can relate to this. When we've been hard and when we tired, our bodies shut down. It let us know we need to sit our butt down. Do it not? So then it says, save except burning frankincense and bringing oblations, gifts, drink offerings, wine, and sacrifices before the Most High for days and for Sabbaths. So the thing that you bring to the altar, like example, sisters, like how y'all prepare a meal for this day. That's the same as what the priests were doing. That you can do. You cannot go shopping for your personal house. You cannot cook today for your personal house. You cannot. That is what you do yesterday. This work alone should be done on the Sabbath days, in the sanctuary of the Most High, your God, that they may atone for Israel with sacrifices continually from day to day for a memorial well-pleasing before Ahijah, and that he may receive them always from day to day accordingly as thou hast been commanded. And every man who does any work thereon, or goes on a journey, or tills his farm, whether in his house or any other place, and whoever lights a fire, or rides on a beast, or travel by ship on the sea, or whoever strikes or kill anything. So, and mosquitoes, get fly gets spotted on the Sabbath, y'all. Or slaughters any beast or a bird, or whoever catches an animal, or a bird, or a fish, pastors. Y'all fishing every Saturday, I know it. See, this is personal pleasure. No hunting, no fishing, none of that on his day. Or whoever fasts, you can't fast on his day, except you did it before the fast. You went into like a week fast or a 2-week fast, a month fast. You can teach, but you can't start the fast on the Sabbath. Or make war on the Sabbath. You can't make war, but you can defend your life on the Sabbath. Okay? We learn about that in the book of Maccabees. The man who does any of these things on the Sabbath should die. So again, make it make sense what y'all believe. You choose whenever this day is. The Most High has a particular day. This is not the first day, the third day, whenever you decide day. This is his day. And this is the laws to it. So that the children of Israel shall observe the Sabbaths according to the commandments regarding the Sabbaths of the land, as it is written in the tablets which he gave unto into the hands, and into my hands, that I shall write out for thee the laws of the seasons, and the seasons according to the division of their days, which we're doing right now, the remembrance of the intercalarial day, or the seasonal change. Okay? Which, let's get it. Where we at? Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 1 to 38.
And it reads, Now in the 24th day of this month, the children of Israel were assembled with fasting and with sackcloths and earth upon them. And the seed of Israel separated themselves from all strangers.
Okay, now what I want to do is get a little backdrop. We're going to read about some history of our foreparents. All right? What happened to our foreparents? Which is also a reason why we're in a situation today. These things continue to go on perpetually. Right? Keeping the Most High's word true, that we will suffer these things. So let's get it.
And the seed of Israel separated themselves from all strangers, and stood and confessed.
All Gentiles. We were giving our sons and our daughters over to the Gentiles. So now we're fasting and crying to the Most High because we're in this bad situation. Read.
And stood and confessed their sins and the iniquities of their fathers. And they stood up in their place and read in the book of the law of the Most High, Ahiah, 1/4 part of the day. And another 4th part of the day they confessed and worshipped Ahiah their God. Then stood up upon the stairs of the Levites Jeshua and Bani and Kadmiel, Shebaniah, Buni, Sherebiah, Bani, and Shenani, and cried with a loud voice unto Ahiah their God. Then the Levites, Jeshua and Kadmiel, Bani, Hasbaniah, Sherebiah, Hodijah, Shebaniah, and Pethahiah said, Stand up and bless Ahiah your God forever and ever, and blessed be thy glorious name, which is exalted above all blessing and praise.
Wait now. I wasn't going here, but since it brought back to my memories. There's so many people right here talking about you can call the Most High what you want to call him. The whole Bible talks about how great and glorious his name is. It never says names. He gave Moses his name. Ahiah Ashur Ahiah. I am in English. That's a blessed, holy, great name. Okay?
Thou, even thou, art the Lord alone, and thou hast made heaven, the heaven of heavens, with all their hosts, the earth, and all things that are therein, the seas, and all that is therein, and thou preservest them all, and the hosts of heaven worshipeth thee.
See that? The Most High, it says that he preserved all his creatures. So we have to trust in the Most High. That's why I said, my job don't preserve me. Your job don't preserve you. The Most High do if you are obedient. Because if you disobey the Most High, you might end up losing your job. You see what I'm saying? Bring you to a lower state. While we're trying to make our situation better, like if I would have broke this Sabbath and we said, well, I get some more money on Monday, I can get a good day on Monday. And I'm telling them what would happen to me next week. If I would have made it to next week. You see? Must trust in the Most High. It says all his creation, everything, angels, birds, fish, bees, mosquitoes, we can't stand, he preserved them too. He created them for his purpose, which I don't understand. But that's the Most High actually if I make it to the kingdom. Anyway. Yeah, well, we got flies and mosquitoes and bees. But anyway, let's go.
Oh, they got bees.
Yeah, I know we got bees. Yeah, that's true. Mosquitoes, I can't stand them. Yeah, let's go. Huh? Say frogs gotta eat, yeah? Yeah, there's more frogs around here. Let's go.
Thou art Ahiah, the God who didst choose Abram, and broughtest him forth out of Ur of the Chaldees, and gavest him the name of Abraham, and foundest his heart faithful before thee, and madest a covenant with him to give the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Jebusites, and the Girgashites, to give it, I say, to his seed.
And to give this land to his seed. That's us. We come with a promise. We have to get our history and know what's really going on. He didn't promise us to go to heaven. We're from the stock of Abraham, the stock of Isaac and Jacob. He promised to give Abram this land, that Abram will receive his land. He didn't receive his land when he was sojourning upon the land. He promised Abraham this, and to give it to his seed. Okay?
And hast performed thy words, for thou art righteous, and didst see the affliction of our fathers in Egypt, and heardst their cry by the Red Sea, and showed signs and wonders upon Pharaoh, and on all his servants, and on all the people of the land, for thou knewest that they dealt proudly against them. So didst thou get thee a name, as it is this day.
So, the same thing going on today with his children was going on in Egypt. We're in hard bondage. He got him a name. The whole world knew about the Most High. The whole world and his people. They feared him. Okay? They said that these are the only people that angels from heaven fight for. Read.
And thou did divide the sea before them, so that they went through the midst of the sea on dry land, and their persecutors thou threwest into the deeps, as a stone into mighty waters. Moreover, thou leddest them in the day by a cloudy pillar, and in the night by a pillar of fire, to give them light in the way wherein they should go.
In the New Testament, it's showing us that this pillar, this fire was Christ,
Right.
leading his people. Okay? The pillar, it gave us shade from the heat. Right? The fire gave us warmth at night. Okay? But he led us in the way in which we should walk. It's like Christ still said that I am the truth, the way, and the light. He's showing us in the way that we should go, the same way he laid our people with a pillar of clouds and fire. Read.
Thou camest down also upon Mount Sinai, and spakest with them from heaven, and gavest them right judgment, and true laws, good statutes and commandments, and madest known unto them thy holy Sabbath,
Made known unto them his holy Sabbaths.
and commandest them precepts, statutes, and laws by the hand of Moses thy servant, and gavest them bread from heaven for their hunger, and broughtest forth water for them out of the rock for their thirst, and promised them that they should go in to possess the land which thou hast sworn to give them. But they and our fathers dealt proudly, and hardened their necks, and hearkened not to thy commandments,
Sounds familiar? Read.
and refused to obey, neither were mindful of thy wonders that thou didst among them, but hardened their necks, and in their rebellion appointed a captain to return to their bondage.
So let's show you how our people are. The Most High showed out signs and wonders, plagues sent to the earth, destroyed the Egyptians and Pharaoh, their armies, right? Sent all kinds of plagues, to the land, destroyed their firstborn. Things that naturally don't happen, he performed, and they quickly forgot all these things and begged to return back into hard bondage, do what they wanted to do in captivity. This is really a rebellious people. And that's why today we're telling people about, we have to do these laws and commandments. They don't want to do them. It's easy for them to accept someone telling them that the laws was hard and our people couldn't do them. The Bible don't say that his laws was hard. Actually, say they're not grievous. They're not hard. He's saying that they rebelled and turned their necks, would not obey because they wanted to do what they wanted to do. They wanted to sin. So bad that they'd rather go into hard bondage. Imagine that. He took them from slavery, from captivity, and made them a free people. a free people, but they wanted to do what's wrong so bad they begged to go back to captivity. Right now, our people, like for example, here they come to class and they enjoy the message. But when it comes time for them to correct themselves and stop doing the things they love to do so much, they stop coming. Just like their foreparents. They love to do evil. Every man do his right in his own eyes according to the Most High. They want to do what they felt was right, not what the Most High commanded and said was right. Read.
But thou art a God ready to pardon, gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and we forsookest them not.
And forsook them not. See, this is why we must read this Bible to understand what he's talking about. So right now, we're reading this, and most of you don't know what it's talking about. But these are testimonies that we must read in the Old Testament to learn who our God is, so you can say that, if somebody say that he's gracious, he pardoned error, you understand why. And how he did it. And why he did it. Read.
Yea, when they had...
I'm sorry. He forsook them not because he promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob something. He would not forsake them in their promise. He would give them the things that he promised. And the majority of their children will be destroyed. But there'll be a remnant of them that will obey the Most High. And he will reward them. And that's what we're fighting for right now, our rewards. Our inheritance that he promised our fathers. And their seed, which is us. Read.
Yea, when they had made them a molten calf, and said, This is thy God that brought thee up out of Egypt.
And listen to that. He just parted the Red Sea, did all kinds of stuff as I just mentioned. And then they had Aaron build a calf with his hands and say, this is the God that saved you. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. How can something, first of all, Aaron can save himself. But how can something Aaron made be the God that saved them? See, it says he would give us over to a strong delusion and we would believe a lie. There's nothing new under the sun. They believed a lie. They were celebrating during this time right now. So they played and they drank and danced. Israel loved to dance. Party. But it's like right now. People believing in physical things. A statue of a so-called Christ. A cross or a little crucified little white dude up on your chest. Y'all trust in these things. Let's go.
Yea, when they had made them a molten calf, and said, This is thy God that brought thee up out of Egypt, and had wrought great provocations. Yet thou, in thy manifold mercies, forsook them not in the wilderness. The pillar of the cloud departed not from them by day, to lead them in the way, neither the pillar of fire by night, to show them light, and the way wherein they should go. Thou gavest also thy good spirit to instruct them, and withheldest not thy manna from their mouths, and gavest them water for their thirst. Yea, 40 years didst thou sustain them in the wilderness, so that they lacked nothing. So that they lacked nothing. Their clothes waxed not old, and their feet swelled not. Moreover, thou gavest them kingdoms and nations, and didst divide them into corners, so they possessed the land of Sihon, in the land of the king of Heshbon, in the land of Og, king of Bashan. Their children also multiplied though as the stars of heaven, and broughtest them into the land. Slakia, thou as the stars of heaven, and broughtest them into the land, concerning which thou hast promised to their fathers, that they should go in to possess it.
So this right here is showing you how faithful and honest and true our God is. He tolerated our people through all this. Wanted to destroy him, but he's a man that's not, he's a guy that's not like a man that he should lie. And he keep his vows. He's still long suffering with their children, us, right now today because of his promises. Okay? So let me read. Verse 23. Their children also multiplied thou as the stars of heaven, and broughtest them into the land concerning which thou had promised their fathers, that they should go in to possess it. So the children went and possessed the land, and thou subdued before them the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, and gave them into their hands, with their kings and the people of the land, that they might do with them as they would. And they took strong cities and a fat land, and possessed houses full of goods, full of all goods, wells dig, vineyards, and olive yards, and fruit trees in abundance. So they did eat, and were filled, and became fat, and delighted themselves in thy great goodness. So for all those who say that our God is evil because he allows people to suffer, you don't know him. He's showing you what he has done for our people. Similar to a small fraction of what he's going to do to those who make it, who endure to the end. And their promise is not going to heaven. Their promise is right here on earth, a kingdom, rulership, dominion of the world. Okay? Then it says 25. No, in 26. Nevertheless, they were disobedient. See, our people were disobedient, not the Most High. After all this, he fought, he sent the angel on to fight for us, took down nations, strong kingdoms, and everything, gave them houses full of everything, vineyards, everything he gave them, and they forgot him. It says, nevertheless, they were disobedient and rebelled against thee, and cast thy laws behind their backs. And see, they cast his laws behind their backs. They weren't hard to do. They didn't want to do them. It says, and slew thy prophets, his witnesses, his messengers. When it was acting up, he would send his prophets to them to warn them to stop. Before he destroyed them, they killed the prophets. Our own people. See, black on black crime, this ain't start today. Okay? And slew thy prophets, which testified against them to turn them to thee. So that's the catch. I talked about earlier. But everybody who opens his Bible up is not ordained by the Most High. The prophets was trying to turn the people back to the Most High. See that? The prophets of his heart only speak the Most High's words. And the premise is to turn them back to the Most High's laws and commandments. What do our people do? It angers them, and they kill us. Our own people, not the white man, our own people. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the killer of the prophets. Did not Yahshua say that? Christ say that? It says, and I'm going to 27 again. Therefore, they delivered them into the hands of their enemies. That's what I meant, right?
In 26.
In 26? I'm going to read 26 again. Nevertheless, they were disobedient and rebelled against thee, and cast thy law behind thy backs, and slew thy prophets, which testified against them to turn them to thee. And they walked great provocations. Therefore, thou deliverest them into the hands of their enemies, who vexed them. And in the time of their trouble, when they cried unto thee, thou heardest them from heaven. And according to thy manifold mercies, thou gavest them saviors, who saved them out of the hands of their enemies. They gave them judges, priests, who saved them. You can't put nothing on the Most High. You don't know your history. I don't serve a God like that. You don't know him. He did all he can do. Show you how he is when you're obedient, and how he is when you're disobedient. 28. But after they had rest, they did evil again before thee. Therefore lettest thou them in the hands of their enemies, so that they had dominion over them. Yet when they returned and cried unto thee, thou heardest them from heaven, and many times did thou deliver them according to thy mercies. He promised this time to be the last one, though. When he sent his Savior, he sent saviors before. When he sent his ultimate Savior, which is the Messiah, Yahshua, there's no more of this. Sin was this no more. Okay? 29. And testified against them that thou mightest bring them again unto thy law. See how important this law is, and these people teach that law is done away with? The evildoers, the wicked agents of Satan. Yet they dealt proudly, and hearkened not unto thy commandments, but sinned against thy judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. It will be his way of life. He would appreciate, love the Most High's laws. And withdrew the shoulder, and hardened their neck, and would not hear. Yet many years did thou forbear them, and testified against them by the Spirit in the prophets. Yet would they not hear, not give ear. Therefore gavest thou them into the hand of the people of the lands. Are we not in the hands of the people of the lands, people? We are the people. Nevertheless, for thy great mercy's sake, thou did not utterly consume them, nor forsake them. For thou art a gracious and merciful God. Now therefore, O Ahijah, the great and mighty and the terrible God, who keepeth covenants and mercy, let not all the trouble seem little before thee, that have come upon us, on our kings, on our princes, on our priests, on our prophets, on our fathers, and on all thy people, since the time of the kings of Assyria unto this day. Howbeit thou art just in all that is brought upon us, for thou hast done right, but we have done wickedly. Neither have our kings, our princes, our priests, nor our fathers kept thy law, nor hearkened unto thy commandments and thy testimonies, wherewith thou didst testify against them. For they have not served thee in their kingdom, and in their kingdom he gave them a kingdom. They didn't serve the Most High wholeheartedly. Right? And in thy great goodness that thou gavest them, and in the large and fat land which thou gavest before them, neither turned they from their wicked works. Behold, we are servants this day, and for the land that thou gavest unto our fathers to eat the fruit thereof, and the good thereof, behold, we are servants in it. And it yielded much increase unto the kings whom thou hast set over us because of our sins. Also, they have dominion over our bodies and over our cattle at their pleasure, and we are in great distress. And because of all this, we make a sure covenant and write it. Our princes, Levites, and priests sealed unto it. Okay? Then I skipped some down here, right? Where we at now? I know, but it's another one.
Nehemiah chapter 10, 1, and then 28 through 34.
I'm going to read 1. Now, those that sealed were, this they came in, they found the law, because it was out the law for a while. They found it and they read it out loud. Now, those that sealed were Nehemiah, the Tarshish, and it says the son of Eliah and Zekiah. So I'm going to skip all these names. We won't get down to the most important part. Where we at? 28 to 34. And the rest of the people, the priests and the Levites, the porters, the singers, the Nethinims, and all they that had separated themselves from the people of the lands unto the law of God, their wives, their sons, and their daughters, everyone having knowledge and having understanding, they clave to their brethren, their nobles, and entered into a curse and into an oath to walk in God's law. They made an oath, a vow to the Most High that they would separate themselves from the nation, stop doing their wicked their deeds, and serve the Most High and keep His laws and commandments. All of us. Which was given by Moses, the servant of God, and to observe and do all the commandments of Ahijah our God, and His judgments and His statutes, and that we would not give our daughters unto the people of the land. We would not give our daughters to the people of the land. It's against His commandment. We are not supposed to be mixing with these people. Nor take their daughters for our sons. And if the people of the land bring wares or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath. See, it's one day. Or on the holy day. So on any feast day, it's a Sabbath. You cannot buy and sell on his holy days. They're Sabbaths. And that we would leave the seventh year and the exaction of every debt. That's a jubilee. The seventh year or the 50th year are jubilees. It's the year of redemption. So if we had maid service, older debt, all that is to be released, and that man, that woman, whoever it was, is supposed to go back to the inheritance of their father. The ultimate jubilee is when Christ comes. His 1,000-year reign is the true jubilee. 32. Also, and for those who understand this, not just people, the land has a Sabbath. The seventh year is the Sabbath of the land. We're not to plant, or nothing. Let it do what it do. Okay? We won't have time to go through that, but I'm going to get this part here though. Also, we made ordinances for us to charge ourselves yearly with the third part of a shekel for the service of the house of God. So to keep up the house of God, they charge themselves to have money within the house to continue the ministry, continue the operation of the Most High, the service of the Most High. So what they need for sacrifices, they could get. Because now, they don't have what they used to have. Now they got to buy stuff. For the shewbread, and for the continual meat offering, and for the continual burnt offering of the Sabbaths, of the new moons, for the set feasts, and for the holy things, and for the sin offerings to make an atonement for Israel, and for all the work of the house of our God. And we cast lots among the priests, the Levites, and the people for the wood offering, to bring it into the house of our God, after the houses of our fathers, at times appointed year by year, to burn upon the altar of Ahijah our God, as it is written in the law. So it's showing, it's giving you a brief history, right, of how our people fell off multiple times, numerous times. Every time we came back to the Most High, we got together, we fasted, we cried, prayed to the Most High collectively, He came back to us. Okay? Right now we're not doing that. But He promised that there's a set time that He has allowed for things to continue as they are. And He will send His Savior to save His people. Okay? Those that come back to Him and keep His laws. Keep His Sabbaths, His new months, His feast as a delight. Now, I just read to you something that fulfilled what I'm about to read out of Jubilees. And that's the end of the lesson. I'm going to Jubilees chapter 1. The Most High prophesied of what we just read. Okay? I'm going to start at verse 7. And do thou write for thyself all these words which I declare unto this day. For I know their rebellion and their stiff neck, before I bring them into the land which I swear to their fathers, to Abraham and to Isaac and to Jacob, saying, unto your seed which I swear to them, your seed will I give a land flowing with milk and honey, and they will eat and be satisfied. And they will turn to strange gods, to gods which cannot deliver them from aught of their tribulations. And this witness should be heard for a witness against them. That's why we're reading this, people. This testimony, this witness is to be read before your ears. To understand our God, our people, and how important it is for us to come back to His laws and to shun anyone. I don't care how you feel about your pastor. They tell you that his laws are not important, that they're done away with. That's the whole premise of this gospel. I'll tell you again, for us, the children of Israel, whether you know you are or not, to come back to His laws. We just read testimony of how important His laws was, how it came with action. We get together, we cleanse ourselves, we cast away our idols. We cast away the strange wives, the strange husbands. and promised the Most High we would keep his laws, and he came back to us, and he saved us, protected us, provided for us, as a father does his children. But we turned our back on him. Right now, he promises in Deuteronomy that he would scatter his people through the four corners of the earth, and we would serve even wood and stone, Christianity and Islam. We're in a land right now of captivity, serving strange gods. Christianity is a strange religion. Islam is Muslims, all is a strange religion to a strange God. All this other stuff y'all got going on. If you ain't keeping his laws and commandments and believing in Christ as our Savior and doing the things that Christ they do, it's a strange religion, strange God. For they will forget all my commandments. The Most High is saying this. You will forget all his commandments. We all at one time forgot. We didn't know his commandments. Our foreparents didn't know his commandments. That's how deep in darkness we have been for so long without him. But they will forget all my commandments, even all that I command them. And they will walk after the Gentiles. Are we not trying to be like these white folk? And white folks ain't the only Gentiles. Non-Israelites, these Africans, these Asians, these people who are here presuming to be, who perceive to be prospering, we're trying to be like them. Remember, he said the fall of us, it was a salvation, the riches of the world that went to them. Come on. To move us to jealousy. So we're walking after Gentiles trying to do what they do to get some money, when we have a whole kingdom away for us.
Bring it out.
And after the uncleanness, this watched a little while ago, the little cartoon Lion King. That Lion King movie and cartoon is about us. The cub is us. Went off into a straight, ran from his kingdom based on a lie that someone told him. Left his kingdom, got to eating slime food, worms and bugs and stuff. Unclean food. But, yes. Yeah, it don't matter. That movie, that cartoon, the movie is so deep. Like, even show his father, like Christ coming in the clouds. You know what I'm saying? Those who believe this book is real, everything that exists is about this book. Every movie, every story, everything is based on this book. Okay? But let's get it. And after their shame, and will serve their gods. And these will prove unto them an offense and a tribulation and an affliction and a snare. We could get slapped in the face every time we try to get into their little club and into their place. They're reminding you who you are. You know who you are. They know who you are. They put you to shame. Everybody trying to, like, for example, Bill Cosby, they put him to shame. Michael Jackson, they put him to shame, killed him. Anybody who's trying to get to their level, you're at tribulations, shame, reproach. Before you die, they make you a reproach. And many will perish, and they will be taken captive, will we not? And will fall into the hands of the enemy, because they have forsaken my ordinances and my commandments. So this is why we're in captivity. We've forsaken this commandment. Now we listen to a Gentile who has lied to our pastors and told us that it don't matter who we are, his laws are done away with. We fell into the snares of these people. He's saying, if we will keep his commandments, we go into captivity. We're living proof this is true. You're not free, people. We read about when our people were free, they had everything. They had animals, animals and everything. No one had dominion over them. They had work for nobody. They had their own. That's a free people. We are not a free people. They have forsaken my ordinances, my commandments, and my festivals of my covenant, his contract with us, and my Sabbaths, and my holy place, which I have hallowed for myself in their midst, and my tabernacle, and my sanctuary, which I have hallowed for myself in the midst of the land, that I should set my name upon it, and that it should dwell there. And they will make to themselves high places and groves, and graven images, and they will worship each his own graven image. so as to go astray, and they would sacrifice their children to demons. We did this literally, and now we're doing it right now. By trying to be like them, giving our children, or teaching our children to participate in their ceremonies. To go to their schools and, be this and be that like them. Just put them in the fire, giving them over to demons. And to all the works of the error of their hearts, for those who believe God knows your heart and won't touch you because He knows your heart. It's the error of your hearts that He knows. It's wicked. And I will sacrifice, it says, and I will send witnesses unto them. We just read about the prophets unto them, that I may witness against them, but they will not hear, and will slay the witnesses also. And they will persecute those who seek the law. This law is serious. Right? And they will abrogate and change everything. Check it out. Look that word up. Please.
Got it. It says repeal or do away with.
Everything that Most High said. Christianity has, how you say the word? Abrogate. Abrogated the Most High. They changed everything, even the Sabbath. Threw his laws, his holy days out of the way. That you're doing their stuff. Right? It says, and they will abrogate and change everything, not some things, everything, so as to work evil before my eyes, and I will hide my face from them, and I will deliver them into the hands of the Gentiles for captivity, and for a prey, and for devouring, and I will remove them from the midst of the land, and I will scatter them amongst the Gentiles, and they will forget all my law and all my commandments and all my judgments, and I will go astray as to new moons. They ain't never heard of a new moon. The memorial of the seasons, and Sabbaths, and festivals, and jubilees, and ordinances, his traditions. And after this, they will turn. Check it out. And after we go through this right here, right now, this time period now, he's referring to this time period in particular, right now. After this, we came over here in slave ships. We're in the midst of the second day that he will revive his people through his spirit. And after this, they will return to me amongst the Gentiles with all their heart and with all their soul and with all of their strength. And I will gather them from amongst all the Gentiles. So it's a difference between, it does matter. It's a difference between, y'all, the Gentiles are not God's people. You're not. You can be a servant, you can be, a child of his, but you're not these chosen people he's talking about. He will take out a remnant of you for his name, but you're not these people. It never changes. Okay? Check out what he's saying. This is after this fact. It says, and after this they will turn to me from amongst the Gentiles with all their heart and with all their soul and with all their strength, and I will gather them from amongst all the Gentiles. See, it's a separation of people. It's not, the Most High is not a God of equality as y'all say. Okay? And they will seek me, which we are right now in real time, so that I will be found of them when they seek me with all their heart and with all their soul, and that I will be found. And I will disclose to them abounding peace with righteousness, and will remove them from the plant of uprightness with all my heart and with all my soul. And they shall be for a blessing and not for a curse. And they should be the head and not the tail. That's our kingdom. King, come on, going up to heaven. Right here on earth. Right now, we were the head and became the tail. But he says, when we come back to him, we will be the head and they'll be the tail. That's why the head don't want to tell you who you are, the tail. Or how to get back to being the head, because they want to be the tail. They want to be the head. But this is prophecy, baby.
Come on, Elder.
Let's get it. And I will build my sanctuary in their midst. That sounds like the book of Revelations to me. New Jerusalem. It ain't no spaceship. It's our kingdom coming down from heaven. And I will dwell with them. He will dwell with us. And I will be their God, and they should be my people in truth and righteousness. And I will not forsake them, nor fail them, for I am a higher their God. Still talking about his chosen people, Israel. Grafted in amongst us don't mean you become us. This is a bloodline thing from an inheritance that he promised our father Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. And Moses fell on his face and prayed and said, "Oh, Ahijah, my God, do not forsake thy people and thy inheritance, so that they should wander in the error of their hearts, and do not deliver them into the hands of their enemies, the Gentiles, lest they should rule over them and cause them to sin against thee. Let thy mercy, O Ahijah, be lifted up upon thy people, and create in them an upright spirit, and let not the spirit of Beliar rule over them, Satan, to accuse them before thee, and to ensnare them from all the paths of righteousness, so that they may perish before thy face. But they are thy people and thy inheritance, which thou hast delivered with thy great power from the hands of the Egyptians. Create in them a clean heart and a holy spirit." The same man they were trying to stone, pleading for him. Clean heart and the Holy Spirit, and let them be ensnared in their sins from henceforth until eternity. And Ahijah said to Moses, "I know their contrariness and their thoughts and their stiff-neckedness, and they would not." It says, "And they would not be obedient till they confess their own sins and the sins of their fathers." And after, sound familiar? Did I just not say earlier that the sins of our fathers, they taught us sin, and we're perpetually doing the same thing? Prophecy been fulfilled. This is what our people are doing right now in Numbers. Okay? We're coming back to our God, Ahijah, the God of the Hebrews. It says, and after this they would turn to me in all uprightness, and with all their heart, and with all their soul, and I would circumcise the foreskin of their heart, and the foreskin of their heart of their seed, and I would create in them a holy spirit, and I would cleanse them, so that they should not turn away from me from that day until eternity, and their souls will cleave to me and to all my commandments, and they will fulfill my commandments, and I will be their father, and they should be my children, and they all should be called children of the living God. And every angel and every spirit should know, yea, they should know that these are my children. It does matter. We are the most important thing on the face of this earth. Every angel and spirit would know, and that I am their father in uprightness and righteousness, and that I love them. And do thou write down for thyself all these words which I declare unto thee on this mountain, the first and the last, which shall come to pass in all the division of the days, in the law and in the testimony, and in the weeks and the jubilees unto eternity, until I descend and dwell with them throughout eternity. And he said to the angel of the presence, "Write for Moses, from the beginning of creation till my sanctuary has been built among them from eternity." He showed Moses the whole thing, from the beginning to the finale. That's what Moses was there for 40 days dealing with. Okay, he used to give them 10 commandments. Okay, this is the whole show. And the higher will appear to the eyes of all, and all should know that I am a higher God of Israel, and the father of all the children of Jacob. This is talking about in our kingdom. The whole world will know he's the God of the children of Jacob. Okay? And the king on Mount Zion for all eternity. in Zion and Jerusalem should be holy. It ain't talking about the one that our forefathers and David and them dwelt in, New Jerusalem. And the angel of the presence who went before the camp of Israel took the tables of the division of the years from the time of the creation of the law and of the testimonies of the weeks of the jubilees, including according to the individual years, according to all the numbers of the jubilees, according to the individual years, from the day of the new creation, when the heavens and the earth shall be renewed, and all their creation, according to the powers of the heavens, of heaven, and according to all the creation of the earth, until the sanctuary of Ahiah shall be made in Jerusalem on Mount Zion, and all the luminaries be renewed for healing, and for peace, and for blessing for all the elect of Israel. It's all about his image. Israel. Everything will reverence his children. Okay? And our King, Yasha, the Messiah, the King of Israel. And that thus it may be from that day and until all the days of the earth. My people, true testimony behind it. The book of, it says the days and the years, the Jubilees, we just read out the book of Jubilees was supposed to receive from the angels with the commandment of the Most High. Concerning the children of Israel, how important it is for us to keep our laws, our Sabbaths, his festivals, his feast days, in truth, in righteousness. Turn back from the ways of the Gentiles. Come learn about the Most High, the God of the Hebrews, the God of Isaac, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and their seed. You, my people. The Sabbath is not a day to be messed with that you can decide on when you want to do something. Hope that you learned that from the lesson today. Love y'all. Shalom.
Shalom.